Woo-wee! All right, here we go. I'm working with my podcaster, and she's like, Hank, what's your favorite intro? So I've got the microphone closer, and we'll see if that one will work. If you're not having fun, go do something different. Information has become a commodity, and I truly believe this. If there's any information that you want, you can YouTube that shit. And one of the things that I'm working with right now with a few of my coaches and mentors and people that are way smarter than me is I might be giving 36 to Life away for free. Meaning it's kind of like, hey, it's time to just put 36 to Life all on YouTube and just give it away. Meaning it's kind of like songs on the radio. There was a time where, you couldn't just get any song you wanted at any time. And we're not in those times anymore. And information without implementation or strategy around implementing it, knowing where you are in the field doesn't do any good. So proximity, this is the analogy that I'd like for you to do it. And does my sound better? Like I've been being coerced to get this microphone closer. So let me know about that too. Squirrel. So proximity, what does proximity mean? Because I did a post in one of our closed groups about if you're interested in proximity, raise your hand. Because I've done some subtraction. I believe that you can only have so many relationships, and those numbers for me are 36 A's, 96 B's. That's 120 people, and that's really all the humans can handle is Matt. Hey, dude, I'm thinking about you and everything that's going on, and stay safe, brother. Proximity. So here's what I mean by that. You can hear the song by just YouTubing it. You can hear it on the radio, Sirius, etc. What some people want is to go to the concert. That's what I'm talking about, proximity. Well, why would you spend money to get proximity? Well, there's a difference between hearing the song on the radio and going to the concert. Now, if you're a baller like Elby, you're buying backstage passes. Like you're front row, and that's a whole nother price. And there is a difference between watching the concert from backstage or in the front row than being up in the nosebleed section. And there's times where it's appropriate to buy the cheap seats. Then there's times where, you know what, just being in proximity is going to make a difference. I know hanging out with people like Albie or, some of the other people that I hear on here is you are the company that you keep. And so one thing that I'm doing is I've re-raised my boundaries. I've re-raised my standards, and you know what? I've got some of it wrong, and there's been some collateral damage. Yet my wife and I, about 3 months ago, she looked up. She goes, "What are you pissed off about?" I said, well, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You let your boundaries down. You lowered your standards, and now you're frustrated." Thanks, honey. And she was right. So we've reestablished them, and there's a few things I do well right now. Here's one thing I do well. Well, family. I don't know that I do it great. I show up and I spend time, and it's important to me, and I get plugged in, and I work. Like when you look at the season of a life that we're in right now, I don't do a whole lot else that very well. There's just not enough time in the day to do what we're doing. So what does that mean? Chances are, if you're not immediate family and you're not in my schedule proximity through the business end, chances are we don't have the relationship that we used to have. Now, it was interesting. I was having a conversation with someone today, and I love the quote, "Awareness is transformational in and of itself." And I didn't realize how fortunate I've been to be in deep conversations on a regular basis. And I'm pretty much in a conversation every hour on the hour, and real conversations, like deep stuff, like, hey, like what's screwed up in your life type conversations. And what I realized was I've got some pretty deep, tight relationships with way more people than what people probably are accustomed to, because there's not a whole lot of surface stuff going on. Like what we're doing when I'm able to light a match with someone and there's fuel in the tank, I mean, it can spark. And I'm not taking credit. I mean, all I get to do is I get to spark that fuel, and they have to do the work, because I'm not going to take the credit when somebody doesn't do it and Hank's an asshole. Because it's funny, people can be watching the same call. They're like, "You suck. I can't believe your profanity. I can't believe that you're." So what did somebody call me? He said, "You should call yourself the National Douchebag League." And then that same one was like, "That's the best call ever. You're awesome." It's just kind of funny to me. I am who I am. I'm screwed up just like the rest of you. So proximity, I'm defining it. I'm defining like who gets time, where I say yes, where I say no. And because the reality is you can only have so many real relationships, and you can only have so many real feelings. And for example, Jim Wimmers, he's an A. Jim needed something. He said, "Hey, Hank, bring $500 a shovel and meet me outside." And I'd be like, "My truck or yours?" I wouldn't ask too many questions, but I know Jim wouldn't ask me to do something unless he truly needed it. Fran, Brian, I mean, like these are, I'm there if you need me. And guess what? I am busy blazing this trail, and I don't need neediness around me. Like if you need me, raise your hand. If not, guess what? I'm out front doing the work. I'm up at 3:30 in the morning, working, and I can't babysit you. Like if you need data boys all the time, which this is where I'm calling the kettle black, because for my wife, I do need, "Hey, good job, honey." And I used to shame myself around that, yet I need validation from one person in this world, and that's my wife. Counseling's helped with that, yet I do need it from my wife because, anyways, I won't even try to justify it. So proximity, that's what proximity means, is I'm going to be giving all my good stuff away. You don't have to pay me $1,000 a month to be my one-on-one coaching client. However, you do pay for proximity and implementation and timeliness of it, because there's only so much time, energy, and proximity available. If you have questions on that, let me know. We're going to be launching our first offering. Oh, here's the other thing. So we're launching something. I think we'll have it pulled off in April, where everything that we're doing is tried and true. And we're going to have another way of doing this for a much less expensive price than what my one-on-one clients have had to pay. Or I've had people come spend $6,000 for one day with me. It's going to be much more affordable and scalable. And I think you'll actually get better results with what we're putting together. 2020, game on. Goodbye.